Alright guys, I'm here to do Toriko, the latest chapter. So much to talk about. Last chapter, regrettably, I didn't have time to do. I'm making the time to do this chapter. Um, Last chapter, I made a prediction. You know, there's always chapters I do all this thinking and stuff in my head, and I don't do record it because of lack of time or whatever. And so the prediction I made last week was that, based on the chapter, I felt that based on how the Monkey King reacts, and based on my absorption of Monkey King mythology and cartoons and stuff from China and other influences, and understanding that this Monkey King probably has a lot of references and experience and inspirations from China's Monkey King, as well as many other platforms. League of Legends, Wukong came from that. Heroes of Newer, same thing. Anyhow, though, I've predicted that this Monkey King was just so powerful and so amazing that he just, was stumbling around, playing around, and he didn't even notice these people around him, Toriko and the crew, because I theorized that they were so low power level in comparison to him that he wouldn't even care. He would think of them as ants. And therefore, I predicted that this chapter, this week, would just be Wukong, or this Monkey King, just walking around, and then, all of them sweating to death, and then him just to walk around and then, not even notice them, and then just go about it. And then they'll just, sweat it off and then be like, oh my goodness, that was ridiculous. But boom, this chapter came in, and please watch my Bleach review, just at least the first 10 minutes to understand, or the first 5 minutes, or the first 2 minutes, where I explain the concept of one-uppance, which Bleach does a lot of fighting manga I watch do a lot, that makes, in my opinion, these mangas so popular and great. And this unique thing that Bleach does, and other manga like DBZ somewhat do, which is, it's not one term I can describe it as, but it's a long description, and it's basically doing something so ridiculous in terms of power level or amazingness or fighting capabilities, or outstandingly ridiculous, surprisingly ridiculous thing, not even related to power levels or fighting strength, but just something that you wouldn't expect, that just blows your audience's mind. Something that blows your audience's mind so much that they love the manga so much and want to read next chapter. I'm sure if you guys have read up to this chapter, you know what the heck I'm talking about. And this author does this consistently every single week. And it's such a shame that all these people are Japanese and don't, they can't appreciate these reviews praising their work. It's ridiculous. But still, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's happened so many times in the Colosseum arc, with the hole punch through Toriko, in the Horse King Hercules arc, where this horse just snorts once and half of Toriko is blown off, and there's no fight because the power was just so amazing. And this chapter happens again, where Sunny screws up, blinks, and he does a ingeniously unique, amazing, fresh thing that we've never seen before, where you see a double-sided page panel, and you see Sunny's eye turn off, and then these narrations just describing what's going on. Sunny makes the grave mistake of closing his eyes for that 0.1 seconds, but in the dangers of the wild, for that long is the most horrible mistake you can make. And then you see him starting to open his eyes in that second, and you see the outer edges of his eyelids opening up, and boom, what do you see? Just a mess. Smoke everywhere, wind everywhere, legs flying everywhere, parts of not Komatsu, we don't know what happened to him, he disappeared. You see parts of Toriko, all these people just flying everywhere, and then you see Zebra's head on the ground. And I'm sure Toriko readers are freaking out right now. They're like, Zebra's dead. Zebra's dead. They're all dead. We're all screwed. And first off, I have a lot to say about this. One, it's manga. you know, any novice will probably think that, but for someone like me, anyone else, it's like, no, you don't die that easily in manga. Anything can happen. Their head can be chopped into little tiny pieces, and then bulldozed to the ground. And a few chapters later, they're brought back to life for some newly discovered, rejuvenating fruit. Anything can freaking happen in manga. That's the power of manga. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those people who's just jaded in dating relationships where nothing surprises them anymore. If someone's friend cheats on them, no surprise there. Been there, seen that. It's kind of the same thing with my manga reading. It's like, don't be a novice, and you shouldn't be either. On top of that, I do think that it's, you know, I think it was a stupid move. You know, although it's well narrated and the whole plot was pretty awesome in a way, the whole thing was kind of amazing. It was a stupid move that I thought was just ridiculous. I don't know why they even put it in there. This whole thing of Zebra without skipping a beat. I mean, it was cool in a way, and then at the same time, it's just like so stupid and somewhat unrealistic. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of realistic. They should have done that because they didn't know what else to do. So they're all sweating there. Zebra, without skipping a beat, switches to attack stance, and then Toriko and Coco immediately switch to supportive stances, and then they go at it. And then in a tenth of a second, they're blown to shreds. After being attacked. I think the whole thing was like, again, it's evolutionary science. It's so simple. It's common sense. Fight or flight. You could have just frozen there and seen what this monster did instead of fighting. Zebra chose the wrong move. Had he done the opposite, flight, and this term, not running away because this monster is probably much faster, but just freezing there and hoping that you're so insignificant to this monster that nothing happened, then you could have freaking gotten somewhere. I feel like, you know, a clear, you know, support for this is the fact that Sunny was not blown to shreds. He's still standing there, now on his knees, crying because of his stupidity for blinking. And again, it's like, you know, although Toriko understands all these, like, you know, sometimes they get into these details that are like pretty cool. It's like a tenth of a second of blinking is sure death. At other times, it's like, okay, what you can blink in all these other scenes where, you know, you're facing monsters just as ridiculous, or you say all this stuff, and then, you know, I'm pretty sure 100 chapters from now, I'm probably going to spot something where they're doing something really stupid and nothing happens either. So, you know, that little lack of consistency from a fanatic's point of view is something that, you know, ticks off the super fans out there, in my opinion. And I think that's very important. James Cameron really respects that, which is why he, when he does a film, he does everything to a detail, so all the super fans are not, you know, ticked off. If you watch his interviews, he says a lot of stuff like that in order to prepare for the fanatics. Star Wars fans, they're going to pick the new film up to pieces. So J.J. Abrams better be aware of that stuff and figure it out. So anyhow, you know, I don't think they're dead. You know, at the same time, I don't think this whole thing is huge deal. You know, that bird female that came along with the crew, she's nowhere in sight. We don't see any body parts. She probably has something up her sleeve, some sort of potion or healing substance or something for her to help the crew, or escape, or then come back later and save them, or, you know, fight this monkey or whatever. And on top of that, I think it was just the whole, for her, Zebra to even think he had a chance was stupid. He should have just pretended, you know, acted dead or something like that. I thought that was stupid. Other than that, like, that's the whole chapter in a nutshell. And then we see Sunny on her knees crying, his knees. That's all I really want to say. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.